Now, the former Vice President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jean-Pierre Bemba, has confirmed what many expected, that he does intend to stand for the presidency in elections that are due this December. Now, we understand that he is due to return to the country tomorrow. He has been absent for some time, hasn't he? Spending a decade in jail before his conviction for war crimes at the International Criminal Court were quashed. Meanwhile, the government in the DRC is arguing that Mr. Bemba is not actually eligible to stand as a result of a former corruption conviction. Well, we'll hear from Mr. Bemba himself shortly, but first, Prudent Nsengiyumva reminds us of the background of the story.
Jean-Pierre Bemba in Brussels, laying the ground for his political comeback. Speaking to the media, Mr. Bemba is making his political ambitions clear. Even though he's been out of the country for over 10 years, and he still has significant support in the country with his party, the Movement for the Liberation of the Congo, MLC, confirming him as their candidate for the presidency. From being a rebel leader to vice president, Mr. Bemba has been a major figure in the DRC for the last 2 decades. But he's also been involved in conflicts outside his country. In 2007, he was accused of treason after his bodyguards and the army clashed in the capital Kinshasa, and he fled to Belgium, where he was arrested the following year in Brussels and handed over to the ICC 2 months later and charged with war crimes and crimes against humanity. He was sentenced to 18 years in jail. But in June, the ICC overturned the conviction after spending almost a decade in jail. As he prepares to fly back to DRC this week, another political heavyweight has the same idea. Businessman turned politician Moise Katumbi, the former governor, also intends to run for presidency. So the scene is now set for the 2 political strongmen to re-emerge from exile. But questions still loom over whether President Joseph Kabila will relinquish power after almost 20 years. Prudent Nsengiyumva, BBC News.
Well, Mr. Bemba is on the move, and the BBC's Anne-Marie Diaz-Borges has been speaking to him in the Belgian capital, Brussels, and she began by asking him why he thinks that he's a suitable candidate to lead the tumultuous nation.
I don't want to be arrogant, but my experience as the last 25 years now, I have run territory, I have organized security in a territory, I have run also the economy and the finance in Congo as a vice president, and I think that my position as a senator, so today, make me really be a candidate among probably others candidates, but I'm very confident that I can bring solution to my country.
You have been acquitted, Mr. Bemba, for war crimes committed by your militiamen in the Central African Republic. However, the crimes that they committed there are still very much vivid in the memory of the victims. Do you feel a moral responsibility towards those victims?
I have all my sympathy for the victim, of course, of Central, for any country. I think victim is something horrible to be a victim. And but I can say that I'm very sad for what I hear from Central Africa up to now. I would say from the last probably 18 years, this country are fighting among themselves. So I hope that they will succeed to get a safe process to bring peace to that country, because they deserve it.
So you still keeping an eye on what happens there?
Yes, of course, because Central Africa is really the border of Congo, north of Congo, and they are brother and sister, and I feel very sad for what's happened. There are a lot of refugee people also crossing Bangui, Central Africa, and coming to the north of Congo.
What is your relationship today with President Kabila?
But I've been absent for the last 10 years, and I have no relationship with President Kabila.
There has been no contact?
There are no contact with President Kabila at all.
But if he wants you return to Kinshasa, would you be ready to sit down and have talks with him?
Yes, of course. Civilized dialogue must take place always, not just for today, even for tomorrow. I think we have condemned to live all together with the opposition, the majority today. The majority today will be the opposition tomorrow.
In 2006, Mr. Bemba, you disagreed with the results of the presidential election. Again, it was against President Kabila, and you took up arms. Will you do the same this time if you disagree with the results?
No. First of all, in 2003, we gave up all our gun and arms.
Your movement, the MLC.
The movement, yeah, the MLC, and we become a political party. And so this story of gun is over for MLC. And if there are any fight, it's through the vote now. That's what we want to achieve.